and welcome to the Daily Space Weather, folks. We are streaming this live to Twitch, and I be your host, Dan, aka smAsho, dressed like a complete COVIDiot. Let's take a look at the sun in 193 angstroms. I've got an idea. Don't be a COVIDiot. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult to not be a COVIDiot, folks. We've got major coronal holes in the Earth-facing zone here. We got a volcanic uptick. And rampant COVIDIOCY. Oh yeah, better dress like a ninja. It's going to be real effective. Thanks, Dr. Rachel Levine. I don't know what that guy's problem is. So we've done a custom helioviewer movie here looking at the solar North Pole region. We've got some filaments in the northwest as well. And we see some minor crown prominences happening there up at the solar North Pole. And for that, we thank you, as it's an indication of increasing solar activity. Let's look at the fields and the 171 angstroms view. There you have that. No magnetic organization going on and no sunspots. By the way, if you don't follow us on BitChute yet, well, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe over there. We put up an exclusive video yesterday. It's just a clip from yesterday's Daily Space Weather. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. As we keep getting videos demonetized on YouTube for no reason at all by algorithms. Also, if you don't follow us on Instagram, perhaps check us out there. Exclusive content there constantly.
I'm just looking out the window, hoping I don't see COVIDiots.
Because there are a lot of COVIDiots. By the way, I don't know if what you're doing while you're locked down, wasting your life sitting at home. If you've watched Jim Gaffigan's YouTube channel, it is hilarious. Yesterday I commented, if you say Hot Pockets, I'm going to smash and mash you. Don't say it. Don't do it! I'll smash and bash and mash your gash into the trash if I must. Hot Pockets. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your face. Anyway, our pilot tester episode of Diamond Anvil Too Hard to Smash COVIDiots Coronal Mass Ejection Propaganda and Smash Forum was remonetized. So thanks once again for manual review. And dear Google, learn to code. Yesterday's extended Daily Space Weather video got demonetized. Limited ads remain. So well done once again, YouTube. Now that all of our views come in for the Daily Space Weather. And by the way, look at our likes versus dislikes. It's 100%, 100%. Oh my gosh, 84%. That's the lowest one I've ever seen, I think. Anyway, if you don't follow us on YouTube, please press like and subscribe over there. Also, perhaps watch some of our older videos, and we are working on putting together playlists, as there is varied content and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Daily Space Weather videos. We're also on Minds, the future of social media, where you won't be shadow banned. Minds won't try to interfere in political correction, in political elections. Don't get an erection about political elections if you're getting your information from Google and Facebook, because they're 100% trying to interfere with the 2020 presidential election, just like they did in 2016. And if you don't believe me, I don't know, do some research. I'm not going to argue about it because it's super obvious. And we've decided to bring up a custom movie here of the sun. It's the colorized magnetogram, just to show you what's going on magnetically, and not a lot is the answer. And this is the way you can see pre-sunspot activity. Next, we'll look at the KP index, which is at 1, coming off of the ground from 0 there. And we had people thinking they were getting cosmic ray flux yesterday. Please leave a comment if you felt strangely yesterday. We had some reports of that coming through. Talk about Comet Swan. Is Comet Swan hyperbolic? Well, it looks like it probably is. And I just came over here to spaceweather.com to check the 10.7 centimeter radio flux, which is back up to 70. And for that, we thank you. There's the graph. And for you new viewers out there, thanks for tuning in. That means you. And the 10.7 centimeter radio flux is a proportional feature to sunspot number discovered in 1947 by some Canadians using World War II radio equipment. 10.7 centimeter radio flux. You can tell what the sun is doing on a cloudy day from Earth with no space telescopes or other instruments just by looking at the 10.7 centimeter radio flux. Next, we'll look at locations of stuff in the solar system. We've got this crazy line forming right here. Got this line like this, and this banana shape. And for anybody who's ever studied anything about stellar catastrophes, you would know that banana shapes are very scary. Also, papaya shapes, peach and pear shapes are super, super scary. So if you need something to be scared about, here you go. There's a banana shape forming in the solar system. Please don't freak out. Please don't freak out, folks. Oh my God. It's Nibiru. Nibiru. Oh no! The non-existent planet Nibiru is creeping up. There's where things will be in a week, coming off of the new moon, which I look forward to, by the way. Please leave a comment if you prefer full moon, new moon, first quarter, last quarter, gibbous waning, gibbous waxing, etc. Next, we'll look at stars. And here's a star chart. You can make your own at in-the-sky.org. And we see Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars rising before the moon each day before sunrise. If you've got a low horizon, it should be quite the show. A bunch of bright objects up there on the ecliptic. X-ray flux is totally flatlined, so not a lot of high energy photons coming out of the sun right now. Proton flux is totally flatlined. Not a lot of high energy particles coming out of the sun right now. And let's get into the real-time solar wind. Real-time solar wind showing us a pretty chilled out BTBZ in the top frame. Phi angle at about 320 degrees right now. Some fleeting magnetic connections with the coronal hole systems. I wouldn't be surprised to see those flip back on today. More coronal hole magnetic connections likely to come as we see the plasma environment very, very diffuse. Solar wind density only 3.07 protons per cubic centimeter. Solar wind speed 314 kilometers a second. There's the data from ACE. There's the most recent stuff. And next we'll look at the magnetosphere. This model is part of the Space Weather Modeling Framework, courtesy University of Michigan Geospace Model V1.5. And we see the effects of that very diffuse solar wind. Not a lot of induction induced by protons hitting the magnetosphere. And we won't get into the physics of it, as this is not a cosmology episode. This is just the daily space weather. So that's what's going on. And we're looking at some very, very weak Van Allen belts as well. No surprises there. Here's the ground magnetic perturbations coming a little closer to home. 4 hours of data from this also. And we'll let that play through as I take this freaking mask off my face because it's really annoying and I feel like an idiot. There we go, that's better. What do you think? Anyway, welcome to the Neo-Renaissance and the geomagnetic excursion, as we have two North Poles and a creepy South Pole, which has left the Antarctic continent. We see pretty high readings here on the GOES magnetometer, which is typically what we see when there is practically zero plasma in between you and the sun. And again, we won't get into the physics of it today, but there's the readings from the GOES magnetometer. And we're wondering what's happened to the GOES 15. I have no idea. Let's move on to the Gong 2 data. So looking at more magnetometer data here. This one's based on 51 Earth-based magnetometers, as well as one on stereo A and one on stereo B. At least one on each. Could be more, I'm not exactly sure. But that data is 3 hours and 53 minutes old, so some pretty old data there. The whole current sheet charged up by the South Solar Polar Field shown here in red. Nothing to really comment on there. And we're trying to truncate the video a little bit today as there's more content to come out with. Keep in mind the magnetic environment can change with zero warning. Part of the reason why we do the channel is to study the effect of predictive phenomenon. And this is why we have a no-nonsense attitude for all the nonsense about the way these objects work. Anyway, there's a line-of-sight field plot, also nearly 4 hours old. Nothing too special going on there. Relativistic electrons are at quite low levels. There's the data from Solon.info. And while I'm at Solon.info, I just want to see if we have any recent updates here. And solar polar fields have not been updated since March 18th. I'll click on it anyway. And there's some good news with the solar polar fields, as they haven't utterly collapsed. I'm not really going to get into that too much either. I'm just going to move on to more data. Here is the GOES electron flux, and it's quite cratered here, and we don't expect this to rise up to very high levels at any time soon. Very low levels of GOES electron flux. And here's the CTI PE total electron content. And total electron content is quite low, so we like when we see the data corroborate, and there you have corroborative data. And if you're viewing live, please leave a comment in the chat. If you've got something important to discuss, perhaps we'll talk about it on the Daily Space Weather, which is why we encourage our viewers to check us out at twitch.tv/smAsho, because sometimes these live streams are more important than others, and you may never know until we start broadcasting. We typically do identify things like coronal mass ejections long before anybody else, including NASA and NOAA and other YouTube channels. How we do it is a trade secret. Next, we're looking at the ionosphere. Here's 6 hours of data from that, courtesy Government of Australia Bureau Meteorology. And we see a quite discharged south pole region of the planet. As the South Pole descends into winter slowly, as it's fall down there. Please leave a comment if you're viewing from a different planet, galaxy, time scale, multiverse, universe, location in the solar system, location in the galaxy, location in the universe. And let's move on to talk about Gluchovskoy real quick. I just wanted to show you the location of this, as this volcano on the Kamchatka Peninsula is erupting currently. Now, we don't have a good view on the webcam. It's cloudy and maybe a snowstorm going on up there or something like that. There's the location of this as it's been erupting, and we've got a clip for you to play momentarily. First, we're going to look at the pressure maps on windy.com. There you go. And we'll let this advance via the GFS forecast about 24 hours into tomorrow. And we see that low moving up toward Iceland off the east coast of the U.S. There's where things will be at 1 p.m. tomorrow my time. And if you're wondering where I'm located, again, thanks to all you new viewers out there, I'm located in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. We're going to have to skip the cosmology segment again today. However, if we do put one out, we've got some topics to talk about, including new insights into eccentric binary black holes, which we refer to as massive radio sources, California nebula stars in final mosaic by NASA Spitzer. It's a phys.org article. And perhaps some other topics too, but not in the Daily Space Weather, not today. Next, we're looking at the earthquakes of the past 24. We see Idaho still getting a series of quakes. Here's a very shallow quake at California, and let's zoom in on that one. It's a 3.5 magnitude at a depth of 500 meters above sea level. And there you have that one. It's located just east of the Naval Air Warfare Center China Lake facility. So that's probably magmatic activity, as again it's happening 500 meters above sea level. And let's move on. Get back to the list. I'm sorry, 0.6, 600 meters above sea level. Here's a deep quake at Colombia. As we've seen many deep quakes, especially on the western coast of South America. South America on the west coast is still somewhere near the western portion of South America, is still my favorite spot for a very, very large earthquake. Although Japan had one at extreme depth at a 6.9 initially reported, downgraded to 6.6 magnitude at a very deep depth. Let's continue on here. 3.9 strikes Alaska. That's at 163 kilometers. So we see nothing over a 6 magnitude, folks. Here's another deep quake at Chile. It's a 120 kilometer depth quake at a 4.0 magnitude. Here's another very shallow quake. And is that one in the ocean? It's 200 meters above sea level. And I don't know how you have a quake over the ocean, 200 feet suspended in the air, but that's where the reporting of that quake is. Please leave a comment if you think that's kind of odd. I think it's odd. I think it's very, very odd. And let's scroll up the list here. Here's another deep quake at Ecuador. So once again, the western coast of South America seeing deep quakes. Here's a deep quake at Alaska. That one's a bit inland. It's 3.5 magnitude at almost exactly 100 kilometers depth. And one came in as we did show prep, another shallow quake in Los Angeles, actually Santa Barbara, there you go. There's this location of that one. That one is up in the hills. Probably nobody felt that one, as mountains have the ability to insulate quakes from propagating. That one is at 100 meters above sea level. And let's move on to talk about COVIDIOCY. Check out the time-lapse. Theater mode, I guess that's cool. Check out the time-lapse footage here of COVIDIOCY. Here's a zoomed out image. And there you can see COVIDIOCY erupting over a sleepy Russian town on the Kamchatka Peninsula. Here we got nightfall again, so we can see incandescent eruption there. Some obvious lava coming out. And it's looking pretty diffuse. If you haven't checked it out, it's at Volcano YT. Up to 60,000 subs. Nicely done, Volcano YT. And let's go over the past 24 volcanoes. We see Etna back to explosive activity. Big time uptick there at Etna as it's producing a 14,000 foot ash plume. We see a volcanic uptick all around and lots of new watches, warnings, etc. So there we see lava flow descending COVIDIOCY, producing a 23,000 foot plume of ash. And that far north, it's not that far from the stratosphere level. Mount Aso, flight level 7,000. Mount Mayon, sulfur dioxide emissions. And 3 rockfall related events over the past 24. Alert level 2 currently prevails as it's at a moderate level of unrest. We are at Volcano Discovery. If you want to watch this stuff yourself, don't take our word for it. Mount Semeru, flight level 14,000 there. Dacono, flight level 7,000 there. White Island, which is the deadliest volcano of the past year. It killed some people who were ignoring volcanic warnings. This one is now emitting SO2, sulfur dioxide gas again, and active vent areas appear to be mostly unchanged since early March. And there is evidence of high temperatures at night, but no changes in the location of the heat sources are apparent. Popocatépetl down in Mexico exploding, flight level 21,000 there. Fuego exploding, flight level 14,500 there. Revenador exploding, flight level 16,000 there. And while we're unable to detect activity at Sabancaya, like through satellites, for instance, please don't pole vault the caldera. And we've moved on to the oh my god, I'm so scared right now that I'm going to have to go about this again. So welcome to the Neo-Renaissance, folks. Have you been to smAsho.org? Well, there's a link down there to the newly unveiled smAsho forum, where we've got all kinds of updates on Fisher-Price, My First Pandemic. Now, yesterday we talked about 14 ways to improve mental health. Part of the reason why we do newscrawler services is so you don't have to. So stop following every piece of news on the virus. I mean, do you have your browser just simply open to news source after news source right now? It's unhealthy, folks. Stay in touch with loved ones. Do video calls with your peeps. Do video chat. Do podcasts with your favorite YouTube channel. Reach out, touch someone, but not physically because it's so spooky. Avoid making major life decisions. Clean up your place. Try to exercise every day. Try some creative arts, as art is great for stress relief. Maybe do a musical collaboration with people around the world and make a new band without ever having to meet anybody. And maybe do an album of Willie Nelson covers in the hardcore style of bands like Sick of It All, and Typo Negative, and Sheer Terror. Start indoor planting. Start outdoor planting. Do your yard work. Write a diary. Try relaxation techniques, breathing techniques, and so on. Pennsylvania is going to reopen while they simultaneously put in more restrictions. So tonight, Sunday night, everybody's going to be required to wear a mask in all businesses. And the rules on it are just ridiculous. We've also put up an article about remdesivir, a new drug showing promise for treatment. And we've put a whole bunch of articles on today's updates. So check that out. Perhaps antibody tests, which are probably the most important aspect of testing. Also some very interesting articles about what's going on with how symptomatic people who have the disease are and so on, as it doesn't present any symptoms in probably 50% or more of patients. We've also updated the information from the Swiss propaganda research, swprs.org. All right, and let's get to today's updates. Pennsylvania Department of Health confirms additional cases, yada, yada, yada. And there's the breakdown of what they are and stuff. Shocking report shows half of the homeless at Boston shelter tested positive. And guess how many presented symptoms? 0. What do you think of that? Oh, you just vanish, huh? Okay. I see what's up. We've also included the timeline of the World Health Organization's cover-up, as the World Health Organization acts like it is an arm of the Chinese Communist Party. So perhaps you'd like to read all about that. Chinese Communist Party demonstrating the fact that the country of China is a paper tiger. Hoarding, which is what's causing all the shortages, not real supply chain shortages, at least not yet. Hoarding, which is a form of COVIDIOCY, which is visited upon you by COVIDiots. Anyway, it's extending the sell-by date of tired old brands. Please leave a comment if you find yourself buying stuff you don't normally buy in the store. Other updates to smAsho.com/forums section on coronavirus, which by the way is in the free-for-all forum. And the whole forum's free-for-all so far. There will be a paywall eventually to give paying customers more information. Air Force Academy graduates didn't stop from graduating. So we've got people in the Space Force now. There's more than one person. 86 are commissioned for the first time into the U.S. Space Force, so that there are now 87. Then there were 87, folks, because up until yesterday, there was one guy in the Space Force. And we're covering it just because we talk about space on the regs. Also, we've got an update here from Senator Toomey. Perhaps check that out. It's all at smAsho.com/forum. And let's move into the, oh my God! That is good stuff. It's the SOB from Willie Joe's. And I got one yesterday. That was my birthday treat. So we also got cheesesteaks. And the way I order these, and the way the woman that I ordered them from gets them, is a cheesesteak with extra cheese with the sauce on the side. And otherwise everything, it's got steak meat, American cheese, hot peppers, onions. And normally they put chili sauce and steak sauce, which is kind of like marinara on there. Since you can't eat in-house right now, we always get that to go, and we get the sauce on the side. The SOB is amazing, and here's my review. It's short.
And here's the ultra quick review of the Willie Joe's SOB. So we've ordered some cheesesteaks. We got the sauce on the side. And one SOB that stands for steak on burger. And I made sure that I informed them that if they go out of business or anything like that, I'm moving out of Eastern Pennsylvania entirely. So here you have it. It's steak on burger is, I guess I can slice it in half. Is that legit? That's legit.
Now, this burger's got the same toppings as the cheesesteak does if you order it stock. It's got hot peppers, onions, steak meat, a burger, cheese, steak sauce, and chili. Again, we got the sauce on the side. It helps with transporting these products. Let's get back to it.
Steak on burger is a cheeseburger with a cheeseburger with a steak sandwich as a topping. So I might do a little damage here, but I don't want to deface the product too much. I just want to show you what's going on. You've got cheese, hot pepper, onion, and normally it comes with chili sauce and steak sauce, but because we had to get this to go because of COVIDIOCY, we got the sauce on the side. So here you got like a steak sauce, like a marinara sauce. And yeah, there you have it, the steak on burger. And further review after consumption, which will commence promptly.
Anyway, it's absolutely fantastic. Check out WillieJoes.com if you haven't. Maybe send them an email. We're going to have to send a clip of this to them as we've done a review of their products. Perhaps drop them a line. And one of the things that we talked about yesterday when we visited them was that we've got people in different countries considering importing their products. Now, many companies that make things like this, they will take their ingredients and pack them in dry ice and ship them all around the world. I used to work for one of Willie Joe's competitors, who will remain unmentioned, at least in this video. So, yeah, WillieJoes.com, the steak on burger. If you want to reduce your bread content and you're planning on having a cheesesteak and a burger, just get a steak on burger and consume less bread and survive a global pandemic so far. And we are considering the possibility of putting out a t-shirt, black background just like this, that says, "I've survived the global pandemic so far." And we're looking at a price point of $25 plus shipping, plus a 3 to 5 week turnaround time. Leave a comment if you're interested. If we get enough orders, we'll certainly put out the merch. Let's talk about the music, the original music which we feature on the channel. As I am an independent music producer, composer, my record label is called Golden Cat Productions, and some of the older, weirder stuff is located at soundcloud.com/Daniel-Nigro-2. That's soundcloud.com/Daniel-Nigro-2. And let's just play a little clip here. How about Floating Decimal? Anyway, check those tracks out. And last but not least, as far as music goes, check out soundclick.com/GoldenCatProductions. Dr. Steelshank is now number 75 in the overall rock genre category. Now, we were trying to get it to the top 10 in the rock instrumental subgenre category, but it's instead gotten picked up on the top 100 charts. Go over there and have a listen. I don't know how high it'll get, but we are probably going to release this for free in the next day or two, possibly right after I make this video, at both Patreon and Subscribestar. So it's patreon.com/smashomash, subscribestar.com/smashomash. Subscribe over there, as all of our posts are public throughout the entire month of April. We'll get back to it in a minute. First, let's look at the jet streams. Here are the Western jets. They are all over the place. Extreme meridional jet stream flow is the name of the game. Here's the North Geographic Pole area, and you can see jet streams going in all kinds of funky directions. Here's the Eastern jets. Here are the Eastern jets, I should say. And you can see some big folds in that, doubled up. Hot air going north, cold air going south, backwards flows, and all kinds of bizarreness. Bizarreness? Is that a word? I don't know. Next, we'll look at the water vapor maps for Africa and Europe. There are those. Water vapor maps for the Far East and Oceania. There are those. Next, we'll look at lightning maps. It's lightningmaps.org, and it looks like there's some thunder. Shout out to Birmingham and Tuscaloosa. Damn, Tuscaloosa's getting pummeled with lightning. Check out lightningmaps.org the next time you hear thunder. Freak out your foes and impress your friends by forecasting thunder. Yeah, for real. I kid you not. Next, we'll look at the U.S. Doppler radar. And it looks like some pretty severe storms there, especially in northwestern Mississippi. As well as some wintry mix right around where I am in Pennsylvania right now. Still hoping for a blizzard, as I love the snow and I love the cold. I love all the extremes, folks. I like to go on bike rides when it's 100 degrees with 80% humidity. And go climb giant mountains. Next, we've got the U.S. water vapor map, and let's take a look at that convergence over northern Mississippi, as it's looking pretty severe out there. If you're flying a plane across that, you will notice some extreme variations in air viscosity, which is what causes air turbulence. As a plane can fly through moist air and through dry air, and when it goes from moist air into dry air, it feels like you've hit a wall, because in many ways you have, since dry air is more massive than moist air. And you can kind of see the way this dry air is pushing along this powerful low pressure system. And hey, Smash team, thanks for tuning in. It's a Smash stream. Again, we streamed live to twitch.tv/smAsho, just in case there's anything super breaking that happens while we do the video. So please leave a comment, please share on your social media, whether you've viewed live or whether you've viewed Memorex. Here's some bonus features for you. A recommendation to follow the Oppenheimer Ranch project. Congratulations on getting nearly to 60,000 subs, Diamond. And let's do a podcast later today at 11 o'clock your time, 1 p.m. my time, and get it up on the internet by about 3 p.m. Eastern time, 1 p.m. your time. The Diamond Anvil, Too Hard to Smash. And we've already done one episode of this. Look for another one possibly coming out today. And the format is classified. You'll have to wait to see what happens. We've got ideas about how to post the content. Also, again, on Patreon, all of our posts are public posts throughout the entire month. You have to pay nothing. You'll get all of the content we like to give. April's the month we're doing it. We're trying to fundraise. We've got a lot of things to do in the year 2020, so please help us do it by contributing up $1 a month, $9.99 a month, or however much you like on either site, whether it's Patreon or Subscribestar. Again, all posts are public, so check it out. We do put up public posts also in other months besides April. Not all of our posts are required. Not all of our posts are pay subscriber only. So even when we're not doing a whole month of public only posts, you can still find some public posts there and some clue as to what's going on when it comes to objects like this one, the local yellow dwarf, which, as you can see, has 0 sunspots. Here's the latest magnetogram in colorized mode. Nothing to write home about there. Let's close things out with one more view. How about the local yellow dwarf, otherwise known as Sol? Please leave a comment if you've got comments to state directly to the sun. You have a question or a comment about the sun? Do you believe the sun's conscious? Please leave a comment about that. I'm not going to conjecture in this episode. Let's see if we got any comments, and we don't. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, folks. Don't forget to dress like a ninja and look like a complete COVIDiot in public. Don't forget to stare at the sun. Don't drink unless you want to, as I'm sure the government is driving you to want to drink. If you do drink, don't drive. If you run me over, we're going to have problems. And since it'll never be now again, folks, may the solar wind be at your back and the COVIDiots absent from your life.